Recently, I played a game and I had an 84.5% accuracy. I got the win, and let's get into it. Also, if you really like chess, there is a tournament today. Magnus Carlsen won the chess championship tour again for the 5th straight time. That guy's ridiculous. But they went pawn to e4. I went pawn to e5. Knight to c3, going to the Vienna game. Something I don't like playing against. If you've seen my videos, you would know. If you haven't, make sure you drop a follow. But I hate playing against the Vienna. I much prefer knight f3 or anything but knight c3. I know what it is, but mentally, it's just hard for me to conceptualize it. You can see my win rate. It's just not very good against when they play the Vienna game. But they went bishop c4. I went d6. Now, I played the wrong move here. It sucks because I actually do know knight f6 is better. Because I've done so bad, I've researched it, or studied, I guess is a more accurate word. So I have learned that that's better. So it sucks I didn't play it, but you live, you learn. They go d3. I go pawn here to h6 to stop bishop to g5 in any line, because I want to go knight to f6, although knight to a5 is better here, because I will be able to get the bishop off the board. It's similar to the idea in the London. It was the light square bishop versus the dark square bishop. Because now if I go knight to a5, if they go bishop d5, I have c6. And obviously they could go bishop to b3, but again, that's the whole point. They're trying not to get the bishop off the board, and I could have done that, but I missed it. They go bishop here to e3, I go knight to f6, they go pawn to f4, and I go bishop here to g4, which is an inaccuracy. This move is not very good. I realized that maybe not the next move, but like during this game, I was like, maybe this game went wrong doing this. Now I win, and they mess up. But I was like, that was probably not the best move, honestly. It doesn't accomplish very much. They're going to go knight f3 probably anyways. Well, they go queen d2, which not the best move. Not knight to e2. I said knight f3, but whatever move, they would have done a knight development, and I'm allowing them to block that. So they happened to just not do the correct response, but it wasn't a very good idea by me. I could take the pawn, though. They take with the bishop, and I go queen here to e7. Another move. This one, I understand a lot more as to why I did it. It makes sense. Like, it's not a good move. But bishop g4, excuse me. Maybe I said g5 the whole time. G4 doesn't make sense at all. It's just not a very good move. There's no real plan besides an initiative and development, but I could have developed to a different square. But queen to e7, I do support, still it's an inaccuracy. My idea is that I want to castle queenside, because I don't want to castle to the opposite side they are. And right now, prior to my queen being on e7, I wasn't allowed to do it. So yes, it was the incorrect thought process, but the idea does make sense. They go pawn to h3, kicking my bishop back, and I go bishop to e6, which is the best move and the move the computer suggested beforehand. The reason I decided to go here is I want to trade off these bishops. Now, they go bishop to b5. I'm not that worried because I can go bishop d7. We could go back and forth. I mean, I probably want a 3-move repetition at this point in the game, but I can go bishop d7 if they go there. I have a6, and I can always kingside castle 1 move away. And then I'm probably 2 moves. Well, yeah, I'm probably 2 moves from kingside castling as well. So right now, although I know what the eval bar says, during the game, I did not feel any type of way once I got my bishop closer to the king. The only thing I don't like my position is that the bishop is on f8. However, none of that matters and is a bit irrelevant after they blunder with knight to d5. Now, maybe you see the blunder here. An issue with both our positions we haven't castled. However, my amendment to that is that my queen is in front of the king, whereas their king is completely bare in front of it. Now, they have a white pawn, but it is overworked right now. I do bishop captures d5. Now, before I saw that, I almost did 9x d5, which is not a good, that would have been horrible if I did 9x d5. That completely ruins the advantage because it doesn't work the same way. Because I do bishop x d5, the pawn here is pinned to the king, as you may see, so they can't take with that. So I take the bishop back, I take with the knight. I'm up a middle piece, and they can't take back again because it's pinned to the king. They queenside castle, I go knight to b6. Now, I should have taken the bishop. Honestly, I would just kind of rush that. I should have. There's no reason to go knight to b6. That was a bad move. But I go there anyways. They go d4, I queenside castle, and they go d5. I'm surprised this is the best move, but I guess it is still minus 4.09. Because I don't think I'm showing that the way I'm editing it now. But it's minus 4.09 for me right now. And I did not feel as if though this was a very good move just because it locks the position, which is not what you want to do when you're down. So I go knight to e5, and you see this knight is an outpost. They can't kick it away. If they go knight here to f3, I'll simply just trade it off. But they go queen a5, attacking my weakness. I see this and go king to b8. Not the best response. I didn't even have to do that because knight c4, it attacks the queen. They take the pawn, but there is no way to get in, as the knight on b6 protects the a8 square, and the king obviously protects the b8 square. So knight c4 is better. And I was looking at that. Not this move. I merely went king to b8. But later in the game, I do look at that c4 square. I don't think I ever get to it, but I did consider it. But as I said, I go king b8. I go knight f3. I go g5. Now, I'm trying to think, why did I not trade it? Maybe I was wrong earlier. Maybe I shouldn't take it because it allowed them to have a connected pawns, whereas right now e4 is a weakness. But maybe I just made the wrong move. No, I shouldn't have taken it. I played the second best move. The better move was queen. The better move was queen to f6 though, or the best move I should say. But they captured. I captured with the pawn. Now I almost did this. I almost did GX f4. The reason I didn't was because I didn't want to have double pawns, and they're isolated double pawns as well. So I decided not to. And I think that's just kind of hard to do. Like if you do GX f4, like the 2 pawns on the f file have no pawns on the e or the g file. The fact that that's better, I don't know how many people are seeing that. If you saw that, you're very impressive as a chess player. It didn't even cross my mind to do that. So I took the knight. Well, it crossed my mind. I would have never played it though. But I take the knight, then move the bishop back, and I go queen here to b4, forcing a queen trade. As you can see, there's no square the queen can go safely without being taken, so they trade on their terms. Whereas if they would have, well, they would have lost the pawn also if they went queen to a3, but that would have been a way to trade on my terms. But they decided to do it there. Take back with the bishop, and they go pawn here to b3. And I wanted to go bishop to a3 very badly, but I could not convince myself it was a move that was worth playing, so I don't go there. Go f7. And f5 immediately was a better move. I didn't think it was a better move, but I thought it did make sense because if they take the pawn, I could take the pawn here on d5 and still get back in time, but I didn't end up doing that. I decided to go rook over. I wanted to play it safe and slow just because I didn't know. I was 100% sure, and I knew up a piece I would win eventually. So the accuracy, I wasn't too worried about at this point. I was more trying to, okay, I can win a game when these are the conditions. I was trying to get to those conditions. But I go knight here to d7, trying to stop my bishop from being trapped eventually, controlling that c5 square. They go rook here to rook h to f1, rook to h7, rook in here to f5, and pawn to f6, protecting all my pawns. There's no way they could ever attack the base of my structure because they only have a dark square bishop. They could take the pawn on e5 if they like reroute it eventually. They could take the pawn on e5, but the knight would capture back. Or if they try to take the pawn on g5, the h pawn would capture back. So these pawns are cemented, and I have to figure out a way to win. And I have to figure out another way to try to stop me. Rather king to b2, I go b6, which is a second best move. The reason this move works is because if they went a3, b4, c5, it would have been very good, but they can't do the c5 part as I triple protect that square, which is why they abandoned that plan and go rook here to c1. Well, I guess they didn't abandon it because they're trying to make it work, but because I see that, I go knight here to c5, blocking it up. Also looking for a fork. I realized that they could trap my bishop, but because I'm up a piece, I can actually do 2 minor pieces for a rook. Now, I end up not having to do that, but that was my thought when I did it. I was prepared for that because if you're familiar with chess in general, 2 minor pieces are better than a rook. There are it's obviously situations where that's not true, but in general, you would not want to do that. However, here, because I'm up a piece 2 for 1, I'd then be up in exchange. But I end up just being up a rook because I do knight x the rook, the pawn x b4, and then knight here to e2. And I have a square here on d4 to escape to. So, again, I said, or no, I go f4, which is better because I attack the pawn in. I was doing good in the game, not in the recap. But they take the knight, I take the bishop, king back, and I bet you can imagine this is kind of a simple conversion. The only thing I'll say is they have a lot of queenside pawns, so I have to be a little careful, but ultimately, it doesn't matter too much. Instead, I should have went rook here to g3 to take the pawn here on b3. I missed that in that move. But after rook to g8, it's pretty much over. They go h5. Now, actually, I missed mate in 3. So it says rook x g2. I actually want to just show the moves. It's better to, hold on. It's better to do this. It doesn't show you mate in 3. Oh, no, it says rook 8 x g5. Oh, and then rook to g3. Okay, so I missed that. I do it in a slower fashion, but I do get the win. Because I check, room my rook back, offering a trade, take that pawn. And here, I'm going slow. I would have played that if I seen it, but I didn't. But I'm going slow, check, take that pawn, I take this pawn. And they resign as I was going to win the e pawn, push my queenside pawns. It's a lot of ways I could have won, but this is a win. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good one.